you know, you and I have talked before about how you've become a very inspirational person, not only in your life, but to many, many bearded villains with the words that you say, the little videos that you put out every day. Where does that come from? What in you, made you flip a switch and say, this is something I'm going to do?
I mean, honestly, it really started by accident, the whole video thing. I mean, I don't even know, but the my whole thinking behind it all to begin with is when I was struggling and I was going through things in my life that weren't necessarily the best, or I want to say weren't too great at the time. I wish I had somebody like myself to give me advice, to tell me things, to help guide me that I know had already went through those same things. And I think that's where a lot of the impact comes from, is I've been through it, and a lot of people know that, and I'm not ashamed to tell it because that's what brought me to where I am right now.
It's life experiences, just like anybody else. It's taking something that was once bad and making something better out of a bad situation. You know what I mean? It's like you were talking earlier on your live stream, you were on law enforcement for 20 years, I was on the other side of that for a very long time, and then I met up with BV, and dude, it's just been crazy ever since. It's been a positive vibe since then. You know what I mean?
I have a good family, great family, two kids. I love them to death. I love my wife to death. I'm a mechanical engineer. I make good money, but there was something missing in my life, and that was brotherhood, and basically I figured out, or I found out about this bearded villains thing, and I joined the bearded villains thing, and it was the missing link, the brotherhood that I was missing. That's what bearded villains is. I've met so many people that have reached out to me, opened their arms to me like I was family. It's been an inspiration to me. Gator, the things he says every day. Papa, the things he does with the hogs and stuff. Sam Hill, I can't leave him out. Puzzle Man, can't leave him out. David from Smoky Mountain, can't leave him out. There's so many people that I couldn't sit here all night and name people that have inspired me to 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 be a better person. The brotherhood is just amazing. I love every part of it. Every event I've ever went to has people's just welcome me with open arms, and it's like they've known me for life. And that was the missing link that I needed.
Yeah.
One thing that a lot of people don't know is I've struggled with anxiety and depression. I'll say this, and this is something that I don't really, you know, express to a lot of people, but I have or I've attempted suicide twice, and the the love that has been passed on to me by this brotherhood and the open arms and the number of people that have just said, hey, this is my number, hey, anytime you need somebody to talk to, anytime you need a shoulder, anytime you need advice, reach out to me. That to me meant so much, and it has inspired me to do what I can to pass that torch, if you will. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To to try to be a better inspiration for other people, so that people can know that there's people out there that will support you. There's people out there willing to listen. There's people out there that love you. You just have to open your heart and embrace it, you know. And that's what I have enjoyed about this journey so far, and that is what I try to pass forward to other people.
You look back on your life,
Hmm.
who's been probably the most inspirational person to bring you to where you're at right now? Who made Gator Gator?
Honestly, my mother. Um, she had me at 16 years old. Um, she did the best she could. She was a great mother, always has been. But being a single mother at that age, you have to work a lot and hustle and get to where you can take care of your child and yourself, which is, I mean, I think where a lot of my issues came when I was younger because she was always working. But needless to say, at the end of the day, she right now where she's at in life, she made it. She lives in a great house in Florida, drives a nice car, has a great family. Um, she came from nothing and made something out of herself. And honestly, that's probably been my biggest inspiration in my life. She's always been there for me. She's always had my back no matter what. I mean, I'm going to tell you something crazy just because I'm going to say it because it's really what happened. One of the last times knew I was getting arrested, I knew I was going to jail. And I called her and I called her to apologize because this wasn't the first time. And I just wanted to apologize to her and let her know, I'm sorry. I mean, I made another mistake. It is what it is. And I just wanted to tell her sorry, really. And she told me, it's kind of going to sound bad, but the best interest, she was being a good mom. I feel like she was like, I don't care what you did. I don't care how bad it was. She said, you're my son. I love you. And I'm going to be there for you. Call me when you get there. So she's always been there for me no matter what.
You know, when I was younger, man, I grew up on some of the rough streets of Columbus. I know people are like, man, you're from Ohio. It's all corn out there. It's not, and that's not always corn, but we didn't have a lot of money growing up. My mom was a single mom raising me and my brother. And I just got in with the wrong people and she tried to move us, and get us into a better situation. And it just got worse from there as I got older, and just got with the wrong crowd, was in and out of juvie, not jail or nothing like that. I was a bad kid, it's, from, drinking and drugs to, fighting people. And I was just angry at everything, and like I said, I did a big stint in juvie from, I was 17 and a half, to 18, that's just in and out of jail, on probation. I got into it with my parents and stuff like that. And I moved back to Ohio, and I got my daughter's mom pregnant. Just it happened. I was 20 years old. My daughter was born February of 2006. I turned 21 March of 2006, and I was like, dude, I need to straighten up. I was before that, I was, like I said, in and out of jail or juvie. I was I've been homeless, like 2 or 3 times. I had a couple buddies, come to me. This is before BVN. They're like, dude, it's time to grow up. It's time to do something, So I started working, and I was like, dude, I've got a kid now. I've got to figure out what the hell I'm doing, And I remember I went from like FedEx, and then I started working for a contractor for the railroad, and then I met somebody that worked for the railroad. And they're like, dude, they're hiring right now. You need to get on. You need to do this. I was like, man, I gotta do something. So, I went and joined up with the railroad for a few years, made some pretty good money. And my actual daughter, not my wife's kids, my stepkids, My daughter was like, I don't see you anymore. So, I gave that up. I came back to, I guess, reality, got a normal 9 to 5. And I've been settling down the older I get. I found BV through a beard company that I started. One of the guys that liked our products was the captain of Ohio.
Okay.
And me and him got together and we got to talking, and I was like, I want to do something for people and I can't do it alone. I don't know where to start or what to do. And he's like, oh man, we've got the bearded villains. You should come and check it out. And I went to, it was like a shoe drive, a clothes drive that Ohio was having, and it was over from there. I was like, I want to do this, and I know I couldn't do it alone. So I was like, the villains is where I need to be. And it was not like you said, not everybody comes from the same background, but there's a lot of guys that were like me. I'm like, you've been in and out of jail, you've been on the streets. You're trying to change your life and help others change their life at the same time. If I can help myself help you, then that's a win for me.
I'll tell a story about. So there was a guy that I considered a friend, uh, and basically, to make a long story short, he broke into my house and he stole. The police report racked up to be close to $10,000 worth of stuff,
Oh, wow.
and basically, once I found out it was him, it broke my heart. I thought he was a friend. And, at first I cut ties with him. But at the time, this person was 19 years old. He was heavily on drugs. And, something told me, hey, this guy needs help. This guy needs a role model, So, given what he done to me, I reached out to him and I told him, I said, hey, I forgive you for what you done, you know. And basically, as a mechanical engineer, I have connections in the mechanical world. So I reached out to some people. I said, hey, I got a guy. He needs some help. He needs a good career. He needs to get his feet set right. He needs to be where his feet is, you know. And basically, I got him set up in technical school for welding and stuff like that. And basically, he got his welding degree, and today he is making over $100,000 a year. You know, and he's doing great. He has 3 kids. He has a loving family. So to look back, you could say that I was an inspiration to him, but to me, he's an inspiration to me because the seed I sown made him what he is today. And he's sowing that seed forward. He's passing that on forward. He's helping other people. And that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, it's not about what you have or how much money you have or what, your benefit is. It's what you can do to help other people. How can you make a difference? My dad always told me, and this is a little deep, but he told me, he said, if you're green, you're growing. If you're ripe, you're rotten. And basically what that means is if you settle for where you're at, you'll never get any better. You have to continue the grind every day. You have to continue that grind. You have to work hard to get where you want to be, and you can't never be satisfied with where you're at. You have to keep going. You know,
Yeah.
Tough times don't last. Tough people do. You know, and basically, though you could say I inspired somebody else, he inspired me because he took the seed that was sown and he ran with it,
Sure.
and now he's successful.
Yeah. Where do you think that comes from though? As far as, I don't know what it is, the inner strength or the compassion or because we all have to start somewhere, and there has to be something in us, some morsel of something that makes us who we are. And
Right.
everybody's so different. So for you, what is it? Was it something somebody said early on in life, or is it something you read? Was there something that you can remember that has really had that huge impact on your life that makes you who you are right now?
It is kind of. So I read a book one time. It was from a military guy. He was a Delta Force operator. His name was Pete Blabber, and basically, there was one line in the entire book that I read, and it said, "Don't be treed by a Chihuahua." And so basically, where that statement come from, so he's going through the Delta Force training, and he's in his final stages of Delta Force. So it's something like 48 hours he was awake straight, and he's going through this crucial, just brutal obstacles course, and he sees this bear, just charging him. So he takes off running away from this bear. You know, he gets to the end of this road, and it's a cliff. He jumps off the cliff. He rolls down the cliff and breaks bones and just injures himself. Well, when he gets to the bottom of this cliff, he looks up. And when he looks up, it's a pig. But he was so in a hallucinogen state because of the intense stress that he had been under that he thought it was a bear. But it was a pig. So he come up with the term "don't be treated by a Chihuahua." And sorry, there's another loud car. What I take from that is, don't be treated by a Chihuahua. Don't let the little things in life bother you. Don't let the little things in life hinder you from what you can become. Stay true to who you are. Keep your goals set your goals high, and follow them. Because at the end of the day, the only person that can fail is you. If you allow yourself to fail, that's it.
Yeah.
Everybody inspires somebody. If you inspire one person today, then you've made an impact. And that's
Absolutely.
what we need to remember. Keep it simple. Inspire one person a day, and you've made an impact.
That I think it's such a cool thing, the divergent paths that we were on, you and I.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, definitely.
15 years ago, you and I would not be talking like this. I know it's
No, and you say that, and I was just on the phone with my mother before we started this interview, and I said, "What are the chances that your son would be friends with a with a retired police officer?" I said, "It's crazy. I mean, it shows growth and progress to me, and it does to her as well." And like I said, she was my biggest influence, and to see her happy and proud of what I'm becoming and what I've become means the world to me, really.
and I like that it's what you're becoming. It's a constant growth. It's a constant
Yes,
change.
always.
And we're never there yet, but we're constantly evolving, constantly changing.
I think it was when I realized, I'm like, dude, someone gave me a second chance. I could be in prison right now, for who knows what. But just one day I woke up and I said, I want more, and I want to leave a legacy that is talked about, not like, oh, Brad was a jerk, man. I want to be like that. Brad was a good dude. He helped this guy out, or he helped this lady out. I want to be known for better than for worse. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, dude. It makes a lot of sense.
There's so much nonsense and violence and just craziness in this world. If we can just help one person, my job's done. Obviously I'm not gonna stop with one person, but if I could just reach out and like, Brad, I remember that guy 10 years ago, big bearded guy helped me out. Didn't even know who I was. I'll never forget him.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
You know, My biggest life change when I think my mindset switch went off in my head, so to speak. I talk to people about it. They don't know my whole history, but they know my most recent issues. Was when I was in my work release program, my last go around. Um, I noticed that people looked up to me on both sides. Like I could maneuver both sides. Like I could be like the people locked up in there could relate to me and looked up to me, but I could also speak to the officers, the guards, and they depended on me, and I could talk to them at the same time without, as you know, that's a fine line to navigate
Absolutely.
between both worlds. But the script, the switch in my head was probably at that time. I realized I had something. I mean, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out what that something is exactly, I guess. But I was different. Um, and I had a lot of people depending on me. And I just felt it was time. I got tired, is what it was, I think. I got tired of the struggle and the things that come with that lifestyle, the loss, the heartache. Um, but, you know, there's a lot to that
Yeah.
lifestyle when you're not living right. And I think I got tired. I just got tired is all it was. And I said something's got to change. Something's got to give. And it's just all been forward progression since then.
I'm a mechanical engineer, and I'm in charge of a lot of projects, a lot of new commissions of equipment and stuff like that. So about 6 months ago, I had a project going on, and there was an incident involved, and some a person got hurt, and due to that, I got basically demoted. So I won't be afraid to say, typically I used to make about 175,000 a year. Uh, they cut my pay over in half.
Wow.
Uh, Rather than firing me or letting me go, they basically demoted me down to where I was basically making less than half of what my normal pay would be. And in that situation, I mean, you could think, you're you're used to making 175,000 a year, and you get knocked down to 80,000 a year.
Yeah.
It was a big struggle for me. With all of our bills that we have, two kids, a wife, vehicles, house, and things like that. But at the end of the day, I thought, you got to make a positive out of every situation. And the positive was I still had a job, and I can get back to where I was at. It's going to take hard work, and the thought process that I had through that was this: I'm not starting over. I'm starting from experience. You know, I'll remember what happened here, and I'll remember the things that happened, and that won't happen again. And I'll be more cautious in the future to make sure that these things don't happen. You know, but one of the biggest things that can impact a person is their financial uh, stability.
Right.
And I've been known for going into patch chats and auctions and just spending a lot of money to help with things like that. You know, I'm not able to do that as much as I was. But at the end of the day, I still have my wife, I still have my family, and I still have my brothers. There is
Yeah.
always a positive in every negative.
Yeah.
And I will get through this and I will get back to where I was at and I'll be stronger for it.
I I don't want to say I could have been what I am all along. I think that the struggles and the issues and the pain and the things that I went through brought me to this point. I don't want to say that I always could have been this because I don't know if I could have without going through so many things in my life. Because, like I tell people all the time, that those situations and those issues and those experiences gave me the knowledge in the what do I want to say, gave me the ability to be who I am right now because I don't, I mean, I don't know if I could have been who I am at this point in time without going through those experiences. They made me at the end of the day.
They do. They do. What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Oh man, that's a best piece of advice I've ever been given. Just to be me and keep doing and keep pushing and keep. I mean, I don't really. I mean, that's what people have always said to me. Like when I was locked up, and my mom and they just said, just keep being you, keep doing what you're doing, keep pushing. Like it's just. I don't know. For some reason, people saw a lot in me that I never saw in myself until later in life. I guess I don't know.
That's a tough one because I've been given some good ones. I guess and my wife and still say to this day, it is what it is. If something's gonna happen, you're not always gonna be able to change that outcome. Just deal with it. You know what I mean? And make the best out of a bad situation. Just keep pushing forward. And I tell everybody this, and you can see this on Instagram and stuff. I just say keep pushing. It's not over.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? I mean, it's and even dudes in BV, bros that I've never even met, they've given some of the best advice. I never knew Gator, from Southern Indiana. I'd never met him, and he just came out of the woodwork, and I just listened to him, and I'm like, man, the stuff that he says, and I'm like, I agree with that. It is the same with me. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
like, I like that. It's just be a better person, just little things,
Yeah. And that's one I think one of the greatest things about what we see through the Bearded Villains is that we hear from other brothers and we are inspired by them, and in turn, without even knowing it, like you found out today, without even knowing it, you become an inspiration to other people. And it's that ripple
Right.
effect that goes on and on and on, and you'll never know, how far out those ripples are going in your life or in other people's lives because of something you've said, something that you did with your life. So I think that's the greatest part about being an unknown inspiration to other people. If you were to try and think back to all the different things that you've quoted in life, put on IG or wherever else, do you have one quote that's like your favorite quote for inspiration that you just always go back to?
You know, um, there's a lot of them that I like, but you know, if I had to think of one, it would have to be tough times don't last, tough people do.
Yeah, that's your story.
Believe in your dreams because your dreams were given to you for a reason. That's probably my favorite one.
I like
One of
that.
my favorites.
People remember and speak the words that affect them the most. And there's a reason why when somebody gives you a quote, when somebody goes back to a favorite quote. And that's the reason I want to ask that question, was because there's a reason why people go back to different things and say the words that they say. It's because those words mean something to them in a very special way. And if I were to have asked you that at the very outset, it would make total sense, the story that you've just told us all. Your words. Stay humbled, stay focused, stay blessed.
Yes, sir.
Every time. Where does that come
Always.
from? Where does it come from?
It's just how I feel. I mean, when I do those videos every day, every single day, that is the first thing I'm thinking about when I wake up in the morning. Is I'm going through my thoughts in my head, and I literally never know what I'm going to say until I push record on that camera. And I used that one time, and it fits. I mean, you have to stay humble. You can't think you're more than you are. You have to stay humble, especially me. I mean, I see myself, I don't know how to explain it really. It just, like, I want to say I see myself as someone for the people. Like, I just like the people that are going through things. And I don't ever want to get a blown up head. I don't want to think I'm bigger than what I am. I don't want to. That's where the humble comes from. Just stay humble. Remember where you came from. Because a lot of people forget that. And then they don't think about the people because they think they're bigger than what they are. And just stay focused. That's just my mentality. I have to stay focused. I have to be doing something. I have to keep going. And then just stay blessed. I'm blessed. Every day I wake up, every morning I wake up, I'm blessed. I'm grateful to be here every day. That's why I don't deal well with negativity, because I've been through so much, and there's no need for that. I mean, when you've been through what I've been through in life, you are blessed to be here. You're blessed to wake up every single day, and you take that blessing and you realize it. And like, I go to work every single day, and everybody's like, "Why are you so happy? Why are you so cheerful? Why are you laughing?" Like, people don't understand it. But when you've been through so much, and you probably shouldn't be here at this point in time in your life, but you are, you have to realize that you're blessed to be here.
I love the fact that, number one, you say it every time. But I love the fact that until right now, hearing you say that, I will look at those words and I will listen to those words differently than I ever have before. Because now it's not just you giving advice. It's you reminding yourself.
Yes.
Every
day.
time. Every
It's
time.
not just, that's what everybody thinks, is it's for other people, because the amount of messages I receive, like, I tell people this, but the amount of messages I receive people thank me almost every day, couple messages a day, different people, never the same person, thanking me for those videos. But what they don't realize is them thanking me for that, and me doing those videos also helps myself. It helps me get out what's on my mind, and it benefits me just as much as it does everybody else. It's an outlet for me, I guess.
It's not the pictures I'm posting, it's the message behind the picture I want you to see.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Right. Well, and to that end, as I said earlier tonight, everybody has quotes that they've said, that they like to say, or when they post something on Instagram, or they post, some sort of a meme with a quote on it, or when they're quoting somebody else, somebody else's words that touch them. There's a reason why they chose that quote. There's a reason why that quote was important to them. And I think it goes back to show a lot of us what's behind the person that's saying those words. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
And you quoted one of my favorites that I posted. I've never seen it. I'm sure somebody somewhere has said it. And it was, it takes a villain, or it takes a bad guy to become a villain. And it's, dude, I was one of the worst people on the earth. To me, I was, I'm sure not to everybody, but I just felt like the biggest piece of crap. And it took the villains to bring out a better side of me. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And it just,
it took a bad guy to become a villain.
yes. And it's, I mean, it's like I said, I don't know if I've ever heard it before. It's just that picture, just that day I was in that mood, and I was like, you know what? I'm thankful for BV because it's made me a better man, a better husband, a better dad,
Yeah. Well, the other one too that I really liked that you posted once, that I think speaks volumes for where you can be in life, but where we are also as villains, it's a huge step for us. The more successful the villain, the more successful the picture. And
yes, Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah, I read that and I remember reading it the first time when you posted it, and I thought, wow, that's not what I'm getting out of that was not what Alfred Hitchcock meant. But
right.
But it's so true, and it can be so applicable to our lives as what we want to do as bearded villains to better other people. So
right.
that's, and that's, you wouldn't have known, because I don't remember specifically doing anything other than liking it maybe online when I saw it, but to realize that when I read that stuck with me for a few days. That quote stuck with me for a few days, and those kinds of things push other people, and in that moment you inspired even me with that quote: the more successful the villain, the more successful the picture. Hearing you talk about it, it's a very different experience.
Just basically being humbled. Remember where you came from. Don't ever forget where you came from. And then being focused, just stay focused on your goals, stay focused on your dreams, stay focused on everything you want to accomplish. And then staying blessed. Just realize and recognize that you're blessed to be here every single day because you never know. And so many people don't get that opportunity. So you are blessed to be here every single day that you wake up. And it's me reminding myself as well as reminding everybody else. See, you say I was just talking to somebody the other day, and I said I don't even think I really do much. I mean, I just say what's on my mind, but that's all I really do. But I mean, I guess it helps people. I mean, but like I said, I only say what's on my mind, but I do it because I wish somebody else did it for me. So
that's why you are inspiring, brother. Honestly, that's why you're inspirational.